Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I just got home from the South Florida drone meetup yesterday. Today is Wednesday the 6th. Had to look and see. And anyway, I know the news is out there already. The little orange Autel Nano, Evo Nano Plus that Autel sent me when this red one was having issues, sadly took a dive into the Atlantic Ocean, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. I want to get the story straight out there. There have been a lot of rumors on other channels that weren't completely truthful, so we want to make sure we get the story right. Yeah, so then also, this guy, I just did an update on it, and I updated it to the version of firmware that now has HDR video. And really, the biggest issue I've been still having with this guy is these downward-facing sensors. As you can see, they're all clean and ready to go. So I'm hoping maybe the update might help with that. I don't know. What happens is it always thinks that it's got something underneath the drone, and so when you try and descend, it won't let you descend. You have to be moving to get it to descend. So I don't know what that's all about, but last time I flew it, in fact, I posted that video just this morning, and I flew it a couple weeks ago. The video looked pretty darn good on it, so we're going to try it again. But the other thing that we're going to do while we do this flight, and I'm just at the school next to my house, we're just going to talk a little bit about the South Florida drone meetup and the sad end to my orange Evo Nano Plus. And I'll also, I guess while we're at it, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story of trying to return this one. I attempted to return it anyway. That's a whole nother story, and we'll get into that too. So let's get this bird in the air. Okay, we're getting that gimbal is self-checking message. Now it says safe to fly. Oh, you know what? I forgot to start a screen recording. Let's do that. Okay, I got the screen recording started, and I'm in the app here. So let's take a look at the safety menu. Yeah, I've got no limits. Return to home at 36 meters. That's plenty high for where we're at here. And it's not asking for any calibration, so I think we're good to go there. We've got, well, I can show you the battery here. Yeah, it's showing version 1.2.14. So let's get out of there. So we're up to date on the firmware, and this is the version with HDR. So I'm going to move it to video here. Let's quit messing around. Let's get this thing in the air here. Let's do a, yeah, let's do an auto takeoff. What the heck? I love the way Autel just kind of spins the blades softly and then slowly ramps them up when it fires up. That's pretty cool. So anyway, let's spin it around here and let's take a look at it. And we're correctly, well, it was showing that it saw us in front of the drone. Let's see if we can bring it in. Yeah, and quite frankly, we're still getting that bottom sensor error, but yeah, it's not coming forward, so that's good. Let's kind of look it around a little bit here. Let's rock it back and forth. And again, you can see that gimbal in action. I always like showing that. Reverse, forward. Yeah, and it won't come forward because of obstacle avoidance. Let's try that again and bring it up a little higher. Forward and backwards. And there you can see that gimbal going. So let's see, we are in, we should be in 4K 30. Let's take a look at that, 4K 30. And what I discovered with the Orange Nano is you do have to have the drone in the air before you can turn on HDR. So we've got HDR on now, so this should look really good. I know it did on the other Nano, so I'm anxious to see how it looks on this guy. Let's start recording, and we are recording now. Okay, so I am going to, we're going to do our, boy, and there is a falcon above, or no, a hawk. That's a hawk flying above us. I don't know if he's checking this little red drone out or what, but we're still getting that bottom sensor error, so that's kind of disappointing. We're about 2.1 meters high, and it's thinking that it has something 0.8 of a meter below it, so don't know what that's about, but anyway, we're going to get on with this. We've only got 79% battery. We're in standard mode, so reverse and up now. And as usual, boy, I'll tell you what, these flight controls on this Autel drone are exemplary. I see I do not have grid lines on, and I typically like that. I'm kind of looking at the horizon, and it's looking a little bit like it's a little bit, and look, as soon as I stop, I get that bottom sensor error. So, gosh, guys, I don't know what to tell you there. And we're going into the sun, so that's, well, that might give us a good kind of idea of HDR here. So let's kind of move this way and see how it looks. I'm going to kind of move sideways here. And boy, the drone is moving right along. There is little to no wind right now. I mean, it's probably, I'm guessing 50 degrees out here. And yeah, you can look at it change. And there we got, you know, something aircraft knows. So as you can see, and I'm kind of transitioning to reverse here as we spin the drone around. So to kind of give you another, just a little different look. So there we go right there. That looks pretty darn good to me. Okay, let's go straight forward. And there we get that bottom sensor error, and it beeps at me, just drives me nuts. So yeah, don't know what's going on there. But let's throw this guy into ludicrous mode. And let's go forward, let's go straight forward here, and let's see what kind of speed we can get up to. Wow, it's picking right up. Look at this, and it should have, I can't remember if I set it. Yeah, I must have it in speed mode because there's 13.5 meters per second, and I am feeling just a little bit of wind right now. But that's pretty good. At top speed, if you put this in speed mode, and we can look at the app, should be about 15 meters per second. But I'll tell you what, it's looking damn good on FPV. Okay, I'm going to go back into standard mode, and look, as soon as I stop, we get that error on the downward facing sensor. So I'm going to try and kind of move us around here. And so let's talk a little bit about what happened to the Orange Nano. So the little Orange Nano, I took it to the South Florida drone meetup with me. And I took it out and had a really good flight with it out over the Intercoastal Waterway. And man, I was chasing some boats and doing some pretty cool stuff with it. And brought it in for a landing. I think I even handed the controls over to Matt Cundiff for a while, and Matty flew it around for a little bit, and I think he liked it. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can, in standard mode, if I can kind of do a little loop around the my favorite cell phone tower here. But anyway, I had a great flight over the Intercoastal Waterway there in Jensen Beach, Florida, and it worked out pretty good. And, you know, my friend Ron Brown was with me, and of course the Nano is getting a lot of interest from a lot of people for good reason. And it's a high content mini drone that a lot of people are interested in. So Ron wanted to fly it, of course. So when I landed, I put another battery in it and let Ron take it up in the air. And he took it for a flight, and while he was flying it, he had Mark Fisher came up and wanted to fly the drone, so we let Mark Fisher take it for a flight here, and Mark Fisher took it up for a flight while we were there, and he liked the flight controls on it. And by the way, I should say, when Ron flew it, he definitely flew the darn drone. He did some interesting maneuvers with it, and he did quite well. So it, you know, he really put the drone through its paces, so that was great. But in any case, Ron brought it back in, and Bob Dempsey walked up to him. I was talking to Mark Fisher at the time. I had my GoPro out. I was kind of trying to record Ron's flight. Had my GoPro out, and I was recording it. So we'll see some of that. I'll put that in another video. But in any case, I was talking to Mark Fisher about what he thought about the drone and some other things. And while at the same time, Ron was talking to Bob Dempsey, and he just let the drone hover. It was maybe 30 feet away from us, out over the waterway, out over the Intercoastal Waterway on the Jensen Beach Causeway there in Florida. And all of a sudden, it just in a hover, and he and Bob were talking, and evidently Bob saw it fall into the water, and so did Ron. And like I said, I was talking to Mark Fisher. I had my GoPro, and I was talking to Mark Fisher, and I heard Ron say, "It's in the water! It's in the water!" And you know, of course, this was about what, April 2nd. So of course I'm thinking, okay, there's a good April Fool's joke, right? I only wish it was a joke. But anyway, evidently the drone, according to both Ron and Bob, it kind of went on its side and then just dropped into the water. So sadly, you know, it took the SD card down with it. And then also, I didn't do a screen recording. I always screen record, as you guys know, just like I'm doing right now. I always screen record. Ooh, that's really quick there. I was trying to do just a little kind of move around, and I got a little quick on the sticks there, guys, sorry. But anyway, I didn't do a screen recording because I thought, oh, yeah, Ron's just taking it on a test flight. So I didn't do a screen recording. I'm going to pick the gimbal up here because we want to look right into the sun with this guy. And let's just see how well the HDR does. And of course, I am getting that bottom sensor issue here. And look at that, I'm seeing some wiggle on the gimbal pointed that high. And I had the gimbal pointed up. So I'm going to point the gimbal back down. That's kind of understandable. No knock there. So we're kind of going right into the sun now, directly into the sun. And let's see how this HDR video looks from this guy. But in any case, let's see, we're at 46% battery. Just checking all my stats here while I'm talking to you. So in any case, the drone fell into the water, and you know, nobody felt worse than Ron Brown. In fact, Ron was feeling terrible, and you know what? It was nothing he did. It was something that happened with the drone. We'll likely never know exactly what happened. What my intention is to send the flight logs into Autel and see if they can take a look at them. I do have flight logs, you know, from the app. But other than that, no screen recording, and obviously the SD card went down with the drone. Now, I should say, I'm sorry, I'm trying to fly and talk at the same time. Matt Cundiff's son, Zachary, actually dove in the water and tried to retrieve the drone. And he looked around for quite a while, but it was pretty murky water. He was in up to about his neck in this water, you know, and the tide was coming in. But anyway, he took a look and couldn't tell anything. We're going to fly over the neighborhood here, and we're going to go look at our local park here to see what's going on. They're doing some construction. I looked at it the other day with another drone, but I want to see if there's any more updates. And we're still at 39% battery, so we're doing good. But in any case, Zach couldn't find it. And by the way, there were some other drones that fell in the water into the Intercoastal, FPV drones, and Zach did recover one of them. So, so Zach was our resident swimmer, and he did a great job. Yeah, so this is where they're putting in that new pump house. And boy, as soon as I stop, I get that bottom sensor error again. That is annoying as all get out. So I kind of got to keep moving here. But let's kind of rotate around and look at this big new pump house that they're putting in here for our irrigation water, or gray water system, I guess as you would call it in technical terms. Looks like they're making progress there. One makes me wonder if I'm going to have irrigation water this year. Well, I'm sure we will. Okay, let's head back and easy dead reckoning here. Just head for the cell phone tower. So that was the story of the little orange Nano Plus, and I'm sad that it's going to spend the rest of its days at the bottom of the Atlantic, and I would have loved to have had the SD card off it, because obviously it had my footage from my earlier flight too. So not much you can do about that. And again, I want to emphasize that it was nothing that Ron could have done or did do to cause that. It was just something that happened, and I just wanted to get the story straight out there. But the South Florida drone meetup, God, what a riot that was, man. We had such a great time there. And I'm just telling you, any of you guys, if you ever want to have fun and hang with your friends, those meetups are the way to go. And we're doing another just kind of a rotation around the cell phone tower here. It's quite frankly, it's good practice for me, and it kind of gives us all looks, and we're trying out this HDR video down to 29% battery here. But in any case, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is trying to return this red Nano. So I bought this from Autel Pilot in China, and you know, I'll just kind of try and shorten up the story. I spent a lot of time communicating with them. They really didn't want to take it back. That's when this drone had way more problems than it has now. And I got to be honest with you, I just wasn't ready to deal with you know, another drone project, and so I just kind of wanted to send the thing back. Let's drop the gimbal down as we go over. Yeah, it's going to go into return to home here. So let's just go over here, and we can look at the top of the yeah, it's going to return to home. So it's just turning around. Let me pick up that gimbal so you can see us, and we'll drop it down as it gets home. Let's see how close we get to the landing pad. But anyway, so I finally ended up going through PayPal. Yeah, and see, look, it's, let's see if it descends at all. Well, it's coming down slowly. Yeah, I'm going to tell it to land. Yeah, and it doesn't want to land. Well, no, it's yeah. Well, it's coming down slowly but surely. Well, we'll just let it, let's just let it return to home on its own. That gives me more time to talk to you guys. So, I filed the claim through PayPal, and they basically said, okay, you got to send it back to China. And so I did, and I took it to a local, one of those shipping stores, because I wanted to make sure everything was done right. So I took it to them with an open box, with the box open. Yeah, it looks like we're not going to get a precision landing here, but we're going to be pretty darn close. We're just going to let this guy come down. It's coming down pretty quickly now, and yeah, you can see it on camera. And yeah, it's right on the edge of the sidewalk there, and it picked up the gimbal like it should. What I like about this, guys, it shuts off recording. So anyway, let me get it shut down and I'll tell you the rest of the story. Hey, okay, continuing the story of the Autel, trying to return the red Autel Evo Nano Plus. So anyway, the red one, I filed that claim with PayPal, and they said I had to ship it back to China. I took it to a shipping store because I wanted to make sure everything was done right. The kit came with 3 batteries, so you know, knowing that lithium batteries can be an issue, I took it with the box open. I showed them exactly what was there, and I even told them, I said, hey, there are 3 lithium batteries here. I'm concerned about that, on and on. They said, how did it come to you? I said, DHL. They said, okay, we're going to ship it back via DHL. So that's what we did. We packed it up and sent it off. $175 to send that drone off. And then So we did. We sent it to DHL via DHL. They picked it up. It got to DHL's Salt Lake City facility, and they evidently, via the paperwork, noticed that it was a drone, it was a return. So they must be trained to do this. They opened it up. They saw it had 3 batteries. DHL called me directly because my phone number, of course, was on all the paperwork to get it into China. And they said, hey, we can't ship your drone to China because of these lithium batteries. We can't send them. It's illegal. We can't do it. If you want us to take the batteries out, we can do that and ship it. And then if you could pay to have those batteries sent back to you. I said, well, I don't really want to do that. And then they said, well, if you want the whole thing back, that'd be great, but you need to send us a shipping label. We can't send it via our own system, so you have to give us either a USPS or a FedEx, no, not USPS, excuse me, a FedEx ground or a UPS ground shipping label, and we'll send it back to you. So $175 to ship it out, and then however much to ship it back to me, right? Okay, well, that's kind of fun. And you know, you're already trying to return a $1,000 drone. Okay, so I went back to the little shipping company, the little shipping station place, and I said, hey, you guys need to get this back. And so they did send them a shipping label, and I got the drone back, the whole kit back. So yeah, that's the end of that. And then, oh, the PayPal claim. So I wrote PayPal, and I wrote them a big long explanation of everything that happened and why DHL sent it back to me. And so, you know, the way anybody that's done a PayPal return like that, they keep kicking it out and kicking it out and kicking it out. So finally, it was probably, I don't know, 3 weeks later, they send me a notification that my claim has been denied because I sent them an invalid tracking number. Well, yeah, of course the tracking number was invalid. DHL sent it back to me. The thing is, I explained all that to them. Clearly, PayPal did not even look at my notes. They didn't even read them. That's very clear, because all they said is, well, you supplied an invalid tracking number, so they denied it, making it look like, you know, I was trying to rip somebody off or something. So that was a little bit discouraging. So anyway, I still have the drone, and maybe it's fortunate now because the orange one is gone. However, what I'm going to tell you is, my advice is going to be that if you order something direct from China, like I did with this, understand that if there's a problem with it, you really are probably out of luck, because it's going to be very, very difficult to return. It's going to be costly, even if you get it done, and you're going to run into pitfalls like I did, and you know, eventually it failed. So really, if you're going to buy this kind of stuff, make sure you're buying on Amazon, Best Buy, someplace domestically that you can return it if you need to. Now, I see that Autel is selling these direct from the United States right now. That you can buy them through their Amazon store, or you can buy direct from Amazon. Autel Pilots is kind of a weird deal. It's kind of a quasi. They're not really related to Autel, but they have that Autel Pilots in their name. It's weird. Anyway, so that's that story. And yeah, so, you know, the saga with the Autel Evo Nano Plus continues. So what am I going to do moving forward? Again, as I said earlier, I'm going to get a hold of Autel and see if I can send them the flight logs and see what they say about the orange one. And while I'm at it, I'll probably tell them about the issues that I'm having with this guy too, with the downward sensors on it. And who knows, maybe I can send this into them and they'll fix it up, and you know, then I'd be whole and happy. So anyway, that is the saga of the Autel Evo Nano Plus. And yeah, so you guys will have already seen the footage from this flight, the HDR footage. I can't wait to get home and look at it. I think it's going to look pretty good, because I know it looked darn good with the orange Nano Plus. So anyway, I guess that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, Please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And yeah, of course, we'll see you on the next one. Bye now.